All right, shalom, shalom, Makiminakov. This is your brother Azariah. I want to start by giving all the praise and the honor and the glory to Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi, Yahawah being the true name of the Most High God, and doing so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world knows as Jesus Christ. But we know His true name to be Yahawashi, and He is the Mashiach. All right, so what we're going to do is just tackle the notion of unleavened bread and Passover and unleavened bread. Are they one and the same? Does one come in simultaneously with the other, or are they two separate high holy days? All right, so let's go to the book of Exodus let's actually go to Leviticus, right? Let's go to the book of Leviticus chapter 23. All right, these are the feasts of Yahawah, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. Now this is key, you guys. In the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahawah's Passover. Now that's very key. At even, meaning what? When the sun goes down.
Strong's H 6153. Erev.
All right, Arab or Arab, if you were dealing with the Hebrew. Evening, night, sunset, right? The nighttime. So this is when the sun is set. Okay? So mind you, when we take it back to what a day is, let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 5. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. So we're dealing with the whole day. So we're dealing with the whole day right here, an evening and the morning. Those two elements combined create a day. All right. Let's go back. Let's take it back here. So the 14th day, right, of the first month at even is Yahawah's Passover. Meaning what? If it's at even, that goes to the next day, the 15th. And on the 15th day of the same month, right, is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahawah. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. Right? And the first day you shall have an holy convocation, ye shall do no servile work. Right? But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahawah 7 days. And the 7th day is an holy convocation, ye shall do no servile work therein. All right? So people do get confused in understanding the scripture and think by saying that the 14th day is the Passover. Then once they go into the 15th day, saying it's a whole unleavened bread, is a separate day. And that's the problem, the confusion. When understanding, they go hand in hand. So, for example, let's go into the book of Exodus and get an understanding of the Passover, right? Let's get into what it is, what it means. Okay? And Yahawah spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make you count for the lamb. All right, we're going to jump down. Now let's go right here. And ye shall keep it the 14th day of the same month. The whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening, and they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts on the upper door posts of the houses where they shall eat it. Okay, so this is dealing with the killing of the Passover, right? Mind you, the killing of the lamb, they're saying, is the killing of it at even. That's when the congregation of Israel shall kill it, at even. All right. Now, and thus, verse 11, thus ye shall eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is Yahawah's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, Against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahawah. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. So that's what it's about. That's what the Passover was about in the first place, right? The Passover was about Yahweh sending that death angel, which speculated to be Yahawashi, right? To kill, right? To kill the Egyptians, right? Yahweh was going to do that, right? He was going to do that and have death be plagued upon the Egyptians, right? And that's why the blood would be cover those doors, right? As protection, as a seal. In a sense, if you will, to cover the houses, the households, right? Verse 14, and Salaki, and this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to Yahweh throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. All right. So this is something that should be kept forever, but that's what the feast, that's what the Passover was about. The Passover was a night in which to kill up until the morning, where these Egyptians would be killed, and they would pass over Israel. So they were to stay in their homes. They weren't to leave their homes. That's why their homes were covered with blood. The representation, which ultimately is a representation of Yahawashi HaMashiach protecting them. Right? Let's go down, and this is the ordinance to be kept forever. So it's the same then, should be kept going forward, even in today's time. Verse 15, 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread, even the first day. Look at that. The first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. So this leaven is to be put away out of our homes, right? We're not supposed to eat it. Stay away from having that, right? Now let's keep going. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the 7th day it shall be an holy convocation. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. For in this self same day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. All right, so it says the self same day, meaning it's a tie-in, the self same day. Because again, here's the key: when the 14th day hits at even, we're at what? A new day, the 15th day. So let's just look at this from a calendar perspective, right? So if we had Passover, for example, all right, so, my congregation of, brothers, the body, we kept the Passover at the first at even, all right? So if you look, so-called Wednesday, right? And this first at even is based on the Gregorian calendar, not based off of, the actual, the counting according to the new moon. So we're just trying to simplify it right here. So the first at even is when we kept the Passover. So quote unquote, right, so-called Wednesday, that's the start. So at even, when the sun goes down, like we read in Genesis 1, morning and the evening were the first day. Once the evening kicks in, the sunset completes, and it's night, you're into a new day. So that would put us into the next day, right? Which would be, as you see in the Gregorian calendar, would be the second day too. But according to the moon, when you do the count by the moon, we'd be on the 15th day. So it's the self same day. The self same day. All right. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 17. Let's go to Luke first. Let's go to Luke 22:1. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover. See that? So it's saying the Passover and the feast of unleavened bread are the same day. Go to the NIV version, same thing. Now the festival of unleavened bread, called the Passover, was approaching. You see how they tie in? That's because they're done simultaneously. When you keep the Passover, because think about it, you're keeping a day that has unleavened bread, right? In the Passover night, the celebration, the night that kicks it off, which is the Passover, you have unleavened bread. So of course that would kick simultaneously into the Feast of Weeks, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? Because it's a weekly thing. You would start from that first day. That's at 7 days. So it ties in. All right. Let's go to another account. We'll go back to what we was going to get first. And this one's more detailed. Matthew 26 and 17. Now the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? The first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the disciples came to Yahawashi, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? See that? You see how it's tying right there? They were having the Passover. Yahawashi and his disciples, they were asking, where are we going to keep the Passover? But it's saying on the feast day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Meaning what? The Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread are not two different high holy days. They are of the self same day. The Passover is just the starting point, the launching pad into the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? And like I said, I try to put myself in other brothers, sisters' shoes, to see it from the other angle. But again, it's like I said earlier, I think, if I remember, because I had to come back on here and re-record. So Salaki, forgive me, so I may say the same thing twice. But again, the Feast of Unleavened, the Passover is a night in which, right, historically, our enemies in Egypt were killed. They were wiped out so that we could escape and flee from Egypt. That was a night. That was from the night into the morning. We couldn't take any lamb with us. We had to eat everything and we had to move in haste. Hence, going into that same day, once the sun is up, you're now in Feast of Unleavened Bread in terms of following out the rest of the week. The Passover is just that night, right? Because you have it for that night. It's literally from the nighttime up until the morning. If you just do Passover by itself, it's not even a whole day. It's not even a whole day completed because it's only from evening up until the next. It doesn't even go to the next evening. You're not getting a full complete day out of just the Passover in itself. That's why it's tied in with the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the self same day. So I hope this was edifying for brothers and sisters. I want to give all praises, honor, and the glory to Yahawah, Ba'asham, Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, learning and or teaching his gospel in truth and sincerity. Until next time, Yahweh willing, Shalom.